1, 2, 3. Hello and welcome to Odin Gamemastering Pathfinder Dragonfall. We are back after... God, it's been like a fortnight now. If not... yeah, fortnight. And last time we came across the nice little town of Eastbrook, who were preparing for an attack. And from how the battle went, I think it wouldn't have gone so well if we weren't here. Because even with us here, it was still a pretty tough battle. So afterwards, you were congratulated and invited to one of their rather famous parties. Because when your patron deity is Caden Kalen, you pretty much party as hard as you got. But thankfully, despite the excessive amounts of drink that most of you partake in, you wake up in the inn. Or at least, when your character wakes up, you would wake up in the inn. The Inn of the Four Winds. And of course,
we're in the inn.
Yes, exactly. And of course, what you have done, the stay is complimentary.
Oh. How nice of them to compliment us.
And with the sound of music coming in through the windows as the sun rises, well, actually, yeah, sun rises. I'm assuming everyone who needs to does their usual wake up at the crack of dawn, meditate kind of thing. Prayer. Because I know Genevieve's going to do that, obviously. And along with the sound of the music coming in through the window, there is the smell of breakfast. And it smells like bacon.
Bacon, 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 bacon! What?
You all seem to have your own rooms as well, just to add a bit more detail to that. Tuffy, you have basically a room with a double bed in it, and mostly because you've got animals to basically sleep in the room with you as well. A lot of you have just the singles, but you know, they're limited to number of rooms. Your sound went dead. What? Sounds like technical difficulties. Give us a moment.
Out a little bit so I can see.
For those paying careful attention to the sky, I know one person is, it's a lovely day. There's only a few clouds here and there, but mostly it's just a clear blue sky and the sun is shining bright.
Oh, the skies are blue. I'm in a mood today, I don't know why.
Okay.
Yeah, Tuffy's gonna get breakfast and go commune with the animals and whatever else.
Yeah, they. Did you hear the part of it? You know, your animals are in your room with you.
That's cool.
Okay.
Probably not all of them. I doubt they got all the horses and everything in there.
No, no. Like your usual set before the adventure started. Like you got given a double room just so they had enough floor space just to crash in. Your bird's probably just sitting on the windowsill just looking outside.
Tuffy's room is a Disney scene.
Ace Ventura
Yeah.
scene, more like.
Okay, I realized that I'm using my tablet today, and I realized that all of my stuff is on the laptop. So now I have to get, on the desktop. So now I have to get all the stuff off the desktop and put it on the tablet so I can have my character sheet.
Oh.
I realized I'd forgotten to level up.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, did we level up?
Yeah, we did.
We're level 4 now.
I'm doing that right now real quickly. I don't have too much, thankfully.
Yeah, and I know I rolled everybody's hit points.
Yeah. Yeah, I got that recorded. I had, like, the hit points and skill points recorded, and I did my ability point, but I never did skills or updated anything else.
Be right back.
Okay.
So... But that is now fixed.
Good.
Alright.
And then I'm
Leveled up.
assuming by some of the ranks of my skills being 4 that I've already done my skills and all that. So I shouldn't have to worry about it. Yeah, it looks like it's done. BAB's up, hit points are up. Yeah. But for those who were checking, you notice that Rising Phoenix is not in the inn. But if everyone was like looking around going, who's here? Or whatever.
She's not in the inn, she's out the out.
Sounds more like she's out the inn, actually.
Alright, so I'd have to head outside to do the meditating.
Okay.
Well, not have to, strictly speaking, but I would.
Want to.
Well, when you head around the back of the inn, you would notice Rising Phoenix is back there.
Mm.
And she seems to be in a bit of distress. And her arms are on fire. I know that's kind of a usual thing, but it seems to be having a bit of trouble controlling it, as it were. And every so often, jets of flame actually come out of her palms.
Phoenix, are you okay?
She looks at you and she's just holds her hands up and she's just like, she doesn't really know what to say about it. She's just sitting there going,
Are you hurt? Is there something wrong?
is magic in my blood seem to getting stronger.
Is there a window facing all this commotion from Tom's room?
Probably, yeah, I would say it was.
Out he goes.
Oh, hi, Tom. You know there's a thing called a door, right?
Yes.
No, just making sure. Well, yeah, apparently Phoenix is having some magical, fiery things going on.
Alright, he'll actually ask her what the hell is going on in her own language so she doesn't have to try and struggle with common.
Hearing you, she says... Basically, she says that she knows that there's always been magic in the blood of the Phoenix, and that's why she has her powers during her rage. Like, this might be in a bit more layman's terms, but it's what she's getting across. But after last night's battle, it seems she actually is... It's like getting stronger to the point she's actually casting spells. And it's just trying to figure out how to control it, pretty much. And that was her will save to try and do so.
Tom, of course, translates this for the benefit of everyone else that's in the area.
Alright, well... That sounds more like sorcerer type of abilities with inherent magic. I'm not very knowledgeable about those. Aranam might know a little bit more, just because I think he's studied more about magic in general than I have.
Well then, if you can get him out here, that would...
Speaking of windows...
Hell, what do you know? He jumped out of a Windows.
Sorry, I'm trying to get my thing to start up, and unfortunately, every time it goes to start up, it shuts off again. I don't know what's wrong with my computer. So I'm desperately trying to get my character sheet, but I may just have to remake it from scratch.
Okay.
Alright, well, I guess I'd go try to find Aranam.
Okay. Tom will once more speak to Phoenix, trying to get her to calm down, center herself, and relax.
Calming down. That sounds like a will save.
Probably.
I would not recommend giving her alcohol right now, though.
You know shit.
Oh, never mind.
Wow.
Well, you could always throw a bucket of water on her.
With Tom's encouragement and basically giving her something to focus on, pretty much, she locks her eyes on Tom and like hears his droning tone and just breathes for a bit, and the fire in her palms just start going down and down, and eventually her arms go out and she's just like, so control similar to rage.
It appears that way.
Okay. Not think of magic, not get worked up, and not have to worry about it. Okay. Okay.
Calmness in peace, like a flowing river. Fire when in battle.
She'll just grunts a response to him now, just nods.
Sad thing is, he's coming off like a fortune cookie, but his wisdom score is a 10.
Well, that's why it's coming across as a wisdom cookie. Or a fortune cookie.
Fortune cookies.
I'm
I
calling
like
them
that.
wisdom cookies forever now.
I like that.
Oh.
We have a new name.
Where is
I guess you
that?
just check each of the room doors, or at least, because I'm not sure. Oh, wait, no, you didn't drink much, did you?
Tom never drinks much.
I think Enfys had like one, but then he just like went outside and kind of nursed it for ages.
Well, no, he had one drink, went outside, and then just kept refilling it with water whenever he was thirsty.
That was it. Yeah. Okay, so you were sober enough last night to see whose room was what by the time everyone went back. So you head up to Aranam's door. And I'm just kind of grabbing his sheet here. Because to see how he's doing, I'm basically gonna roll fortitude for him. Well, he got level 3, that's progress. I think we only leveled up last session, so you know. The fortification of... yeah. So how do you approach his room?
Oh, I just kind of knock.
From inside you hear... what?
Hey, Aranem, so turns out Phoenix is displaying some kind of sorceress ability, it would appear. At least some sort of inherent magic is causing some flare-ups. I'm not really knowledgeable in that. I figured you, having studied more, might know a bit more than I did.
Yeah, is there any topical creams for that?
Just...
Sorry, that was OOC, by the way.
give me a minute. And you hear kind of just hear like drag himself out of bed.
Alright, well, we're just around the back of the inn. Walk back out. Notice. No! Hey! Everything under control?
Yes.
Oh. Good, good. Well, Aranem should be out in a sec. I'm going to do my daily meditation then. And then just meditates.
Okay. Eventually, Aradam comes out, not exactly looking the best. He's just like, okay. I brought my book on latent magical abilities. Let me... I thought it was flaring up. Well, I'll just try and look for something here about latent. Alright, well, when a sorcerer's magical abilities from their blood first start to emerge, typically done at a very young age, can cause some wild magic effects, and without proper guidance can become a danger not only to the sorcerer but to everyone around them. And, you know, and wait a minute. How old are you, Phoenix? Because this is like talking about children of about 6 to 8 years old.
And I just imagine Phoenix going, I am this many.
She
Just
says
raise
in
your
her
hand.
language that she is 14 to Tom.
Tom translates, of course. So Tom will auto-translate anything she says, if need be.
Tallest 14-year-old I've ever seen, but I guess that's just down to your race or something. I haven't learned enough about them enough to really say. Alright. Okay, so this should have, like, if these sort of things should have happened a long time ago. But I don't know when it's doing it now. And Rising Phoenix speaks up, kind of gathers herself a bit and speaks in common. Well, blood of Phoenix, not from birth. It's gift from Phoenix I found on first hunt to become adult. And I'm just like, I guess that's an explanation. I don't know how blood would be exchanged, but honestly that's one of the things I'm fine not studying right now. I'm gonna go back inside and have some breakfast. Is there anything else? Alright, well, just stay away from anything flammable if this happens again. And just... I'll think of something to help teach you how to be a sorceress, I guess. I don't know how to do that, actually, really. I mean, I'm a wizard. I learned from books. Oh, you got your sheet. Cool. Well, yeah, it's breakfast time now. He's kind of like waking up more. Hey, I did not need this morning. I think I drank way too much. And he's sort of groveling to himself as he heads back inside. I'm sure he'll go talk to some fish to make himself feel better later. Genevieve's up, she's been doing her morning prayer, and then she heads downstairs and has breakfast. Rising
So I guess
Phoenix.
that- Oh, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say she heads up to Tom and just gestures like to the front of the inn and goes, I think I'd be okay for now. Maybe we should go eat. Ben?
What?
She basically just said to Tom, look, I think I feel fine now. Should we go eat?
Oh, okay. Tom nods and follow.
And you notice,
And-
like, as you, like, get within, like, adjacent to her in terms of the gain squares, her body temperature is actually higher than it was before.
I'll get that fixed.
And despite the amount of fire that was covering her body and her lack of control of it, there's no burn marks on it. Of course my phone starts dinging. But yeah, there's no like apparent burn marks or anything on her skin. Alright, better?
Oh, well, I'll just be meditating for a bit, and then I'll go in and grab a bite to eat once that's over.
There is indeed bacon, bread, typical breakfast stuff. There's eggs, just a whole bunch of basic fried eggs, just on a platter, and then bacon on a platter, and then bread selection, you know. The innkeeper thanks you for what you did yesterday, and you know, she says, you know, if you hadn't come along, I'm not sure we would have made it through. Some of our stronger warriors aren't exactly home at the moment. With the awkward silence of nobody responding to her, she just shrugs and heads out the back.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear a word you said.
Oh. Sorry. Well, yeah, the innkeeper comes out, you know, because she's been making breakfast and all that. And she thanks you for what you did yesterday and says, I'm not sure if we would have made it last night if not for you lot. Some of our finer warriors are currently out of town.
Out of town?
I is trying to find out where these goblins are coming from, where their camp is, and just how many more we can expect to be thrown at us. And there's been talk of witches over at Winter Vale.
Odd that they wouldn't be.
You cut out, Ben.
I can hear your microphone now, Ben.
Okay, you couldn't hear me before?
You cut
No.
out after odd that they would not be.
Odd that they wouldn't be here with imminent attacks.
Aye, well, the previous attacks weren't on that sort of scale, and honestly, I think that Harry and his daughter may be a bit overconfident in their abilities. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're very fine warriors, but after the number that showed up in such strength yesterday, I wonder whether or not maybe we were a bit too hasty and sending people for various investigative works to try and take out the source of this problem. And Winter Vale's a good way away anyway, so honestly I would have liked if they just focused more on the local problems. Anyway, is there anything else I can get you?
Some tea, please.
Alright. I'll be back in a minute. Disappears into the kitchen, and you've got water and orange juice and apple juice. That's pretty much your selection at the moment. Oh, and milk, obviously. And after a few minutes, she comes back with a pot and puts a little, basically an iron stand onto the table, then puts the pot on top of it. And there's basically a tea towel wrapped around the handle that she leaves wrapped around the handle. Because it's just a pure metal teapot. One of the ones that are designed to be put straight on the hob itself. Alright, well, there's the milk there, and... Oh, wait. She kind of catches herself and heads out and actually goes to get a teacup. Because you've only got basically just regular flagons for filling up however you like. So I take it Sage Heart's woken up and gone to have breakfast as well, Tal?
Yeah, she's awake, and sadly, I'm not. I'm
It's
I'm
okay.
listening, and I can't concentrate today.
That's alright, I mean, it's just breakfast, so pretty much everyone eats, gets their strength, has their tea. Like there's a plate of meat put out for Bruiser, and I guess the fox as well. Some seeds and grain just thrown out the back window for the bird. Trying to think what other animals you have again. I know you got the fox, the raven, dog.
And then I have a ferret and a cat too.
Oh, yeah. So I guess the cat would have meat too. Ferret? What does ferret eat? Meat?
Meat.
Meat, yeah. So there's various little plates. I can actually picture it all in a row, like meat, 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 meat. Then on the end, seeds for the bird.
Yeah.
Okay. All this entire time this morning, it's the birds have been joined by the sound of their violin and various wind instruments.
Odin, I need an HP roll for my level up.
Oh right, what are you, D8?
D8.
And like everybody else, I'm doing half die plus half just to get at least average. So it'll always be above average by at least 1, but you know. 6. And that was a very active D4.
It was.
Alright. Oh dear. But if you really think that you need to, then I'll see you next week, I guess. It's okay. Right, well, back to adventure. So once you finally gathered all your things and fed and drunk and all that, then I suppose you would head out the inn. Really, phone? Really?
So we head out the inn, or in the out, one of the two.
Yeah. And when you head towards the center of town, you see Persephone there and a few of the townsfolk. There's she's playing her violin. One man's playing a pan flute. The other guy's basically sitting on a hollow crate and banging that in a percussive manner. There's still blood on the ground, but the bodies have been cleared up. And upon seeing you, the townsfolk give you a hearty wave and a bit of a cheer. Persephone kind of raises her bow from a violin to wave it at you before carrying on playing. Guess that was Blue Brothers. We'll have the back row of the absent. Well, yeah.
And just kind of waves back, says, hello to Persephone, kind of wants to talk, but also doesn't want to interrupt her.
Tom just nods. He's not one for crowds, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Who is Persephone?
Oh, she's the bard that basically she's the daughter of the head of the town guard, as far as I can tell. And I'm sure he's just called the general, also Henry. No, Harry, my bad. And basically the party met them last time when she was helping prepare for an assault from goblins. And she turned out to be a bard and basically buffed everybody and did some healing and some offensive spells to just help out during the fight last session. She moves over to you, still playing, and she's just starts talking over her violin.
All right. Well, now that he doesn't have to worry about being rude. So, how'd everything fare through the night?
Oh, we did fine. It's thankfully they didn't send any additional forces. I mean, usually we only expect one wave of every time they do attack. It'd be a dark day the second they actually stage their attacks to try and wear us down. But no, everything else went fine. Everybody stumbled home. Some of you stumbled to the inn. Some of you managed to walk properly. But we cleared up all the bodies already, and as you can see, some of the folk are starting to pitch their stands for the market. My dad's in the town hall. He's kept aside some of the interesting items from the goblins, and we thought, after you helped us out, that he wants you to have first pick.
Oh, that's very kind of you.
What you do unto others as you wish to be done unto yourself.
I'd heard that there were some of your other warriors had gone off to try and find where these goblins are coming from. Any word from them?
Not yet, no. I am kind of worried. But I shouldn't be. I mean, they've earned their place and their freedom of what they decide to do, even on a professional basis, to the point that my father trusts them enough to act on their own orders, as it were.
Alright, well, then I guess we will go and see your father.
Alright, well,
Oh,
you take
sorry.
care.
Still.
You know where I'll be, and she just looks to the others to make sure nobody else has anything to say before she kind of skips on back. Still playing.
Let's go talk to Harry.
Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna put them behind, but you know, it's just
Okay.
large enough for everybody to be in there. Be a bit worried if it wasn't. You head into the town hall, and it's a rather simple building. It's pretty much just one big open room with one corner of it cottoned off for what seems to be the storage room or some form of office. Though at the end there's like the raised. You know how basically town halls are in like any Salem horror movie or anything, where it's pretty much almost like a church, but with just a wider table with more seats at the head of it instead of a pew or whatever. No, the pews are the things. Whatever you call it. There's just lots of singular chairs, and then the town hall jurisdiction table at the head of it. And you see Harry there. The table is covered in a few interesting items. And upon entering, Harry turns round and gives you a wave. Morning to you.
Good morning.
I hope you all enjoyed yourselves last night. And there goes my phone again. Shut up. Yeah. Hope you all enjoyed yourselves last night.
I'd heard you'd kept some interesting items.
Ah, I did. And I thought, well, you might be interested in them.
Well, certainly worth taking a look.
Well, these goblins not only came in greater numbers, but they were a darn sight tougher than last time, and I think I know why.
Oh, really?
Yes, well, first of all, there's these chain shirts. After a bit of investigation, they are in fact magical.
Goblins raiding a town using magical chain shirts?
Yes.
Say I'm a little surprised. I'd always read that they... Oh. Weren't that organized or had access to that level of equipment. At least not for just raiding parties.
Yes, exactly. That was my train of thought, but after removing these items, it seems that there was a remnants of magical blessing of some kind upon them. Of course, that's not my expertise, but upon consulting some of the lore keepers, it confirms that they must be following some form of goblin king who is organizing them, and also granting his blessing to his warriors, which apparently is known to make them a bit tougher, a bit harder to kill.
Well, that's troubling news.
It is. And I'm not entirely sure in terms of magical equipment, but I've heard some say that enchanted items can adapt to the size of their user.
Well, certainly some can. Depends on the item. Unfortunately, the chain shirts aren't going to do me much good. But I believe there may be a few others in our party that it's worth for them to take a look at it.
Raising Phoenix looks at her armor, and so there's a couple of points where it seems to have been torn. And then she looks back at the chain shirts and she nods and she steps forward and goes, if can fit, then should be good. And she...
Well, try it on, and if it doesn't work, we may actually be able to modify them using any extra sets lying around as well. Mm-hmm.
So discarding her leather armor, Rising Phoenix picks up one of the chain shirts and sticks her arms in it first and tries to just let it slink over her head. And surprisingly enough, it does. It's as if many links that weren't there before just add to it in order to adapt it to a medium size.
Impressive.
And it's then that she throws some of the furs and bits of her armor that weren't really the functional part of her armor, just throws them on just to keep her look, as it were.
Alright, well, anyone else interested in trying one of these on?
It's magical?
Yes. It apparently
yes,
is.
Fortified with magic, though we can tell that it's not exactly a extremely potent enchantment, or so I'm told. But it's enough to make them a lot more difficult to break.
Okay, out of character.
It's a +1 chain shirt. Out of character.
Okay, because I already have a mithril chain shirt, so I don't think it would do me any better.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well, I don't know, what does mithril do? Over.
It gives me a +4 to AC.
Oh, yeah, no, that's... Wait, do you mean the mithril gives a +4 versus a regular chain shirt, or just
No, it's just the AC bonus is 4.
Okay.
Oh, and it's also got a higher dexterity, maximum dex compared to a regular chain
and the
shirt.
max dex is 6, so I don't have to take a penalty for dexterity.
Okay, that actually might make up for the difference then, because the +1 chain shirt would be a +5, but would still have maximum dex bonus of +4.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I'd lose dex on that, so the mithril's better for me.
Plus the weight is nice, the lack of. Okay, so let's see, who else would need one? Would Sage Heart? I think, yeah, light armor. I think that would make sense.
Oh my god, I
Likely
calculated something wrong on my dog, and it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I just realized that when it says that an animal companion gets a natural armor bonus, it's on top of the natural armor that the animal already gets.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
So the natural armor bonus for my dog would not be a +2, it would be a +4, which means it now has an AC of 23.
Nice.
Do natural armor bonuses stack?
In
That
this
one
case,
does.
it does. In this
Okay.
case, it does, because the page says this is in addition to the natural armor that the animal
okay.
gets.
Then, yeah, it makes explicit mention of it.
That's very nice.
Just spelling this out for Tao when she reads it. Because because they're automatically masterwork, they have -1 penalty. And I think Tom might benefit from this as well.
Chain shirt?
A +1 chain shirt.
Let me check his armor class. It's 17 right now.
Okay. And he's currently wearing what armor?
None.
Oh, okay.
What's his dex bonus?
Dex bonus is +4.
So yeah, that would still be within the range of chain shirt without having to take a negative.
Yeah, that would give you... You would still get all of that AC from your dex, but you also get an extra 5 AC.
Yeah, so... Put you up to 22 AC.
Damn.
Assuming that you don't have anything else going on there.
Oh wait, didn't you have like the braces of armor or something? What was that? He might be talking and have cut out. Oh, there he is.
The truck's wearing down. Well, the radiator's been trying to...
Okay, Odin, I gotta ask you
Hold on.
a question here quick.
Yep.
So, alright. So look at the stats for dog that I just posted, which are the stats I'm going off of.
Yep.
It says 4th level advancement under that.
Yep.
So my dog would go up a size category
Yep.
because it's level 4 now. Its bite does more damage.
Yep.
But what does the ability score mean? It says strength +4, dex -2, con +2.
That's how you modify its ability scores.
Yeah.
Oh, so I would add 4 to its already existing ability, strength, and stuff?
Yeah.
Mhm.
But now you've got a very big dog.
Yeah, dex goes -2 because of the size change.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright.
Now he has a D6.
So
on his
I
bite
just
attacks,
add
that's
those, I just add or subtract those numbers to the
good. The base. Stat,
base
Yeah.
stat.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know, rather than it just be suddenly boom, it's massive. It's just like it's just been growing. It's now grown to the point of being.
No, I like the idea that, you know, she gets powerful enough that suddenly the dog gets this infusion of power and just goes boom.
It's just like dun 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 dun. Your dog has become large dog. Dun, 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 dun. So that also would mean that it gains 1 extra hit point per level because of the extra 2 con.
Well, it turns out I was calculating the hit points incorrectly too, because it says that the hit points, instead of rolling a die, it gets a number of hit dice, but each of those grants it average points. So it says to multiply the average points versus the number of hit die and then add the constitution.
Okay, so what is the hit die for the dog?
An 8. And it said 4.5 for an animal companion, and then you multiply that times the number of hit die, which would currently be 4,
Okay,
which would
so
give it
6.
20,
Yes, 16 plus
because you
3.
round down or something.
I thought you said it was. Wait,
4.5.
you multiply it
Oh.
with the con? Wait, multiply by 5,
No,
it's level 4.
you multiply 4.5, which is the average.
Right, times 4
thing.
is 18.
Yeah.
If it's a D8, isn't the average 4?
Okay, it says, how do I determine hit points? For a D8, the average is 4.5.
Okay.
Multiply 4.5 times the number of hit dice, which is currently 4,
Okay, so
and
that's-
round down.
So 18, and then you add on the constitution bonuses, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would
So
be
8,
a con
22.
of 17. So that would be a.
Actually, it's got 18 because it just got the ability score improvement and I put it into con. So the mod is +4 now.
Okay. So you'd add another 16 to it. So yeah.
So it's 34.
34
So
hit points?
34 hit points?
As far as I can tell, what we just figured out, yeah.
Oh, okay. Alright, I was really calculating wrong.
Remember, it gets the con bonus for each level.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. Well, 34 hit points. Okay, that's fine. I will go with whatever you guys say, because my math is very bad.
Oh man, the dog has more hit points than I do now.
Yeah,
Dude, the dog has exactly the same hit points as I do.
Jesus, well, that's a tough old dog.
I only have 30 hit points.
Okay, it's got 22 AC because it went up with the natural, but it went down because of the dex bonus. So
Yep.
Yeah,
okay,
That's still a pretty good AC.
this is
yeah,
very good AC.
still better than my AC.
Yeah. So you've put that chain shirt on Tom. Ben,
What?
did Tom pick up one of the chain shirts?
Yeah, sure, fine. What's the stats on it?
+1 chain shirt, so it's as the stats I've put in the chat. It's an AC of 5 with a max dex of 4, penalty -1, spell fail 20, type L for light, and weight 25.
Remember, because it's magical, it's automatically masterwork, which reduces the penalty by 1.
Yeah, it was a -2.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not
Penalty is what?
-1.
Spell failure is what?
20.
Type?
I just put L for light.
Oh, okay.
Then weight of 25.
Material. Mithril.
So that should ramp up your AC.
Let's see. AC is now 22.
Very nice.
Yep. Much better.
Trying to think you won. Not that I know of.
You realize in 4 levels I'm ditching it, right?
That's fine.
Yeah.
Because at that point my dex will be 20.
And it would make your
Well-
AC stay the same because of it not adding onto your AC, but you'd still lose 4 AC by taking it off.
Yeah, but I plan on improving my bracers of armor as I go.
Oh yeah, and the brace of armors I don't think stack with the armor.
If the bracers of armor give an armor bonus, then no, armor bonuses don't stack. But the +1 bonus from the chain shirt would stack, because that's an enhancement bonus.
Yeah. Okay. I forget if the braces of armor is an armor bonus or if it's actually an enhancement bonus.
I think it's an armor bonus if it's straight bracers of armor.
Yeah, armor bonus.
I-
Yeah.
Because I seem to remember I got that question wrong last time. That's
So
why
yeah.
I looked it up.
Improving the braces of armor later on when you've got like a much higher dex would be
Yeah.
simple.
Because you know, pour my points into dex and just never be hit.
Okay, so the other things they have, that's pretty much it in terms of what he put out for you, the magical chain shirts, because the great axes were small, so they're not really worth anything. So they were just sent to be melted down. Throwing axes were also just being used for the materials. So let's see. So those who need one, just grab one, and pretty much he thanks you again for coming to the aid of the town. Is there anything else you wish to ask of me? I mean, feel free to stick around town for as long as you like. Just, I need to see how the men are recovering from the battle.
Alright, well, as I said, I can't use one, so...
Because of the whole being metal thing.
Yep.
Well, if nobody else has anything for him in terms of questions and such, then I guess you would just...
Well, I guess I'd ask him, so you sent out some warriors looking for where the goblins were hiding, right?
Well, yes, at first I sent some scouts to go find it, but when they didn't return, some of my closest friends took it upon themselves to go searching for this encampment and hopefully any surviving men. And of course, with the talk of witches and the neighborly values that we hold here, one of my friends headed over to Wintervale to help with their witch hunt.
Do you happen to know around the area where they were going to start looking?
Well, with the forested area of Flamore, it's got plenty of places there that a witch could be hiding out, as well as the caves up in the mountains. So, I'm assuming those are places they're going to start.
And as far as where the group looking for the goblins might be?
Oh, well, most likely going to be starting at the compass points and keep working around and further away from the town, because honestly we don't really know. With the fact that they keep approaching the town from multiple directions, it's managing to find their tracks before they split up and finding a way to follow that back. I mean, I'm not exactly a trained tracker myself. I'm left that to, well, those who are trained in such.
Well, if there's still some tracks, I could make the attempt. I'm decent at it, but not amazing. But I'll discuss this with the rest of the party. We do have our own tasks to attend to.
Of course, and as I said, thank you again. The strength of their forces seems to be growing with every attack, so we're very glad for you to be here.
Yes, and I fear that with this one failing, it'd make it worse next time.
Yes.
Especially with this ramp up, it seems, with the magical armor and the blessing.
Well, we can only hope that the rest of our forces return home before the next attack. Otherwise, we're not entirely sure what will become of us. Though to the end, we will always fight.
I was thinking perhaps we could find them and get a message to them at least, but if they're just circling around, that could be rather difficult.
Well, if you manage to find any tracks, then hopefully they had too, and it will give you a direction.
Yes, well, we'll certainly look into it.
Well, thank you. You've done so much for this town already.
Alright, just kind of nods and then decides to walk back to the party. Well, actually, we're all inside, never mind. I keep forgetting that we're actually all inside.
We're all inside, but I just didn't want to just go find the town hall map and put it up and everything.
So I guess pretty much everybody already heard. Advis can kind of just look around and ask what the party thinks of at least going to try and find the tracks and see if we can track down the other group and get them back to the town so they're not as defenseless. Or if we're incredibly lucky, maybe even meet up with them and find the goblin encampment. Not that it's necessarily going to be something we can deal with, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Well, I go where you go, says Rising Phoenix.
Tom?
I'm up for whatever.
Yes.
What's your thoughts on the matter?
I will follow your lead.
When did I become the leader?
Genevieve kind of just elbows Enfys.
Why did you become the leader just now? When it became comedically appropriate. Why?
Alright, well then, I guess I'll head out and head to one of the areas the goblins were trying to attack from and see if I can find any tracks.
Mm-hmm. You leave the town hall, and this young lady comes up to you, and she's carrying a basket.
Hello?
Oh, hey, Enfys. It's nice to see you up nice and early. I rather enjoyed our conversation last night, and I thought you should have this before you go. And she actually hands you a basket full of various cheeses.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I was actually just running low.
Well,
Oh
try
my
not
God.
to eat too much of it at once.
Oh, no. All in moderation.
Of course. I mean, we spoke
We're going to
about what
run in-
exactly was too much cheese last night, so...
To run into a dungeon that's nothing but cheese.
Alright, so how much would that add?
Gonna wind up on the plane of cheese.
Yeah, this basket included, this is about 5 pounds of cheese.
Wow, that's gonna last me for quite a long time.
But yeah, it was just nice to find someone else who's, you know, not just saying cheese is cheese.
Ah, yes. And I'm beginning to find there are so many different kinds.
Oh yes, some of this is more the local stuff and from the neighbouring towns. But that one there I actually got from overseas. And I don't have much of it, that's why there's only a small slice in there. But I thought, hey, why not?
Oh. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I'm sure your party members might not when you start indulging in some of it, but too bad. She kind of turns and walks off.
Alright.
See you later, Enfys. She calls back.
And just kind of waves and then makes note of the information that there are there is a civilization across the sea. Because up to this point, I don't know if we'd really talked much about how widespread civilization was.
Yeah. Because, I mean, beforehand there was none. The surface was a barren wasteland, and we're like, oh, hey, there's people here.
Right,
What's
so
a
we
sea?
found... Yeah, we've found these pockets of civilization, but don't know exactly how widespread. But if the fact that there's civilization across the sea, it makes it sound like there's quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But that will be filed away. For now, focus on the tracks.
Okay, I will need, like, a perception check at first.
Okay,
I'm just gonna...
I'll just go ahead and make the perception check instead of...
Everyone kind of keeps back just so they're not, like, trampling over freaking tracks.
Come on. Decent.
Nice! Among horse, like, tracks and tracks of various animals, you do manage to find the goblin tracks. And, then a survival check?
Yeah, survival is to actually follow tracks.
Yeah.
And let me check my survival. Alright.
You know what? Since I never used this ability, since I want to use my scent ability to try to track
Oh, okay.
whatever
Well,
it is we're tracking to.
Yeah, we'll see how Badger does, and then Bruiser can assist.
Middling.
Yeah, you see them like heading away from town, but it's as you get further away from town to some of the more major roads, it gets a bit more difficult to keep track of them. Oddly enough. Especially since you start seeing other footprints which seem to be following the trail. You'll find the tracks of the trackers. So, okay, so do you have to like roll for his tracking thing with scent?
Oh, it's actually Tuffy's tracking thing, but
Oh,
it
is it?
uses
Okay.
survival, but it's based on scent. The problem is it just says that I can track using survival based on scent, but my survival score isn't very good.
So use the normal one?
Well, if you just roll it and see how you do, then we can, teamwork.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do. Let's see.
Memphis is kind of going, there are a bunch of other tracks here. Looks like some might even be following them. Might be the other group. It's making it kind of difficult to follow.
No, not very good.
Yeah, well, the further from the actual battlefield, the less you actually smell goblins. So it doesn't really help at all. But yes, with the 17, you are able to follow them. It's just sometimes you might spend a little bit going, where do they go from here? But eventually you manage to find them, and you don't manage to keep full travel speed the entire time, but you manage to make a decent tracking effort. And that is in fact it seems to be heading easterly, mostly back towards where the Forest of Flamor are, which is the region you were heading to anyway. It seems that the thick forest is probably a rather popular place to hide out and be away from civilization. Because, I mean, you noticed even when you got to Eastbrook, it was already getting a little more foresty than the plains you would travel across.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I will bring you guys... I'm going to copy you first and just take you to the... I mean, do you settle up and start just following the tracks? Or are you just investigating for now? Sorry, I just realized I was like kind of rushing you ahead. I was like, wait, no. They probably do what they probably do.
Yeah, I mean, Envis is kind of for trying to follow the tracks. Now that we've seen that there's another group following, especially to try and find the other group at least.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully catch up with them. But of course he will yield to the party majority if they decide something else, or if somebody makes a convincing argument.
No, I'm good with following the goblins. I mean,
All right, I guess we will go ahead and follow.
Alright. Well, that would take
Follow
you
the Yellow Brick Road. Follow the Yellow Brick Road.
to
Or are
Flamor.
we following the Yellow Brick Toad?
Well, it's not really a road as much as it's just ground that is covered in tracks. Because for a lot of this, roads aren't exactly a thing. You more find trails and just places that have been trodden down to make easier paths. And indeed, now you see the rather forested area of Flamor. you are pretty much coming in from the less foresty area down here. So let's try and see. Pretty much got to kind of imagine that you only see the left-hand corner of the map, fog of war style, currently. Oh wait, did you get? No, you got a map of the region. So yeah, you see this. I remember now.
That we did.
And you remember that this is the place that you matched up to where Wilford was?
Mm-hmm.
And you also know that Wintervale is there.
Mm-hmm.
There is also the standing stones here, as it's marked. And this cave is currently unnamed, and like it's made note that the cave was there, but no one's really explored it enough, and pretty much the only thing known about it is not known to you, but it's known to Wilford. But from what the assistant said, that's mostly surrounded by local ghost stories and stuff about the cave. You know, if you go to Wintervale and ask them about it, I'm sure they'll have many number of tales about it with varying degrees of subjects. And you also know that you were told that you might find the occasional halfling. Very small, like little hamlets, and that's strewn about the hills.
Mm.
With a rather typical Shire setting.
Mm-hmm. Alright, well,
There is a lot of detail in this map now that I kind of zoom in a bit more and look over all of it rather than just the main points that I was focusing on.
Okay, quick question.
Mm-hmm.
I have a choice between. I've narrowed my rogue talents down to a choice between two, and I can't figure out which would be better. Either move at full speed while using stealth, or use my perception instead of my survival to follow tracks.
What's your perception?
It's a +9 right now versus a +1 for survival.
Okay, that can be really useful.
We don't stealth that often.
No, but I mean, moving at full speed rather than half speed. Well, when it's a stealth section, I don't usually take into account movement speed, so I think the whole perception to track would be more useful now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say pick up the other rogue talent later.
But also
Okay.
that would be a regular tracking or by visual thing, not your scent ability.
Okay.
Yeah. Because that'll be following track traditionally because it's perception, it's looking, etc.
well, I thought perception was just senses in general.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you know, eyes and ears, and I guess nose.
Mm-hmm.
I guess yeah, I guess the scent ability can apply to that too. It's amazing
Okay.
how things that you don't think about.
Alright, well, I'll take that one then.
Oh, and also surrounding the standing stones, this section of the forest is unnatural and, well, some say it's haunted. Especially with how many of the trees never seem to actually get leaves on them. They call that the sleeping wood. Kind of seems to like bisect part of the rest of the heavily forested area.
You know, there's never like the I'm kinda tired wood or... No. Sorry.
So I'm just kind of looking at this map and then recanting things that the assistant most likely told the party.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for right now though, we just, I guess follow the tracks.
Okay.
Unless they lead to someplace, like, very significant, like, into the Haunted Wood or something, where it would make us kind of stop and reevaluate or maybe prepare.
Actually, they don't lead you there. You follow them, and they actually continue to head east. And eventually they lead to you where basically the shires are.
Alright.
And when you get there, well, let's just say that they aren't exactly a pretty sight. A lot of the burrows are completely burnt out and destroyed. And goblins aren't exactly the clean up after your battles sort, and there's actually halfling bodies kind of everywhere. Some of them even strung up, some of them seeming to be partially eaten.
Oh, lovely. By the way, where are we on this map?
You got to about here now. I guess I should paste. And then stack you guys up. Much as I can with Bruiser being large now. I guess on this map I'll make it back to a medium because it's an overworld. So yes, you come across the first of the little settlements of the Shire, and they are just completely destroyed and ransacked. And let's get Anfis on the front, since yeah, there you go, because he's like leading the tracking. There you go.
Ooh, okay, well.
So we're in a destroyed village?
Yep,
Wow.
destroyed
Yeah,
half of the village.
Definitely following the right tracks. Ooh, this does not look good. Think there's any survivors?
If they are, they won't be out here while we're around.
No, they'd be well hidden.
Rising Phoenix stands upright and just looks around, trying to see if there's anything moving. Goblin might still be here. And she kind of just like scours and looks around.
That's my perception check to see if I notice anything amiss in the area or smell goblins nearby.
Well, you do smell some goblins. Rising Phoenix doesn't notice anything or anyone, doesn't hear or see anyone moving or anything within the Shire. Though you do manage to pick up on a scent, and cutting through the smell of the smouldering, burning homes and people, you actually find some burnt tents and like long tables, which seems to have, well, basically everything. All of their supplies have been just completely devoured, and there's just goblin waste left behind.
Okay.
It's not a pleasant smell. And it's not like you needed any extra indication that they've been through here.
We should probably burn the village so that it can be repopulated later.
Already looks
Only if we
pretty
can-
burned, says
Yeah, I'm thinking what this really needs is someone to come out and clean it up, but until we take care of the goblins, it wouldn't really be safe to do so. I'm going to take a quick look around and see if I can find any anything out of the ordinary, any survivors, any clues as to anything left behind, I suppose.
Nobody's rolling high.
Nope.
Well, let me give it my shot. I got a +4. What's the worst that could happen?
A 1. That's the worst that could happen.
Whenever somebody rolls
Aaron Ann's
whenever
gonna
somebody
look
rolls
too.
a 1 on a perception check in our Saturday night game, they always see this magical butterfly that suddenly appears, and they're just fascinated by the butterfly.
Genevieve is is horrified, of course, because she's Genevieve and is kind of seeing this complete massive destruction and waste of life. Kind of, well, as far
Tom's
as
whole idea is, scorch the ground so that it can regrow.
okay, so she's gonna look around just for anybody. Oh,
Holy
of course,
fuck.
of course.
Of course.
People that don't hear roll really high. What was the second roll for Kiki?
Oh, another perception.
Oh, okay. As if guided by some otherly force, Genevieve actually gestures her sword to one of the homes that seems to have a bunch of burnt out supplies stacked up against the door and windows. And you can actually hear well, actually no, scrap that last part. Like, it heads over there and she points out the fact that it doesn't look like it's as destroyed as the other ones.
Ah, Jen, you think we should take a look in there?
Well, yes, I mean, they seem to have basically broken down the other doors and just ransacked it. Why would they be stacking things up against that one? It seems kind of weird.
Does seem kind of weird. Kind of, I suppose try to yell inside at, see if somebody's in there, and kind of comment that the goblins have left. We're an adventuring party that's come through. See if anything happens. If it doesn't, then we'll go from there.
Mm-hmm. You don't get any response, but you do notice that the big round door of this particular mound is metal compared to the wood of the other ones.
Are there any windows?
There are windows, but they have what seems to be a strong iron grate across them.
Can I look in a window?
Yeah, you would have to like clean off some of the certain crap that was left from the burning.
Okay, I want to look in a window and see if I can see anything.
Okay, looking inside, you see what seems to be the that particular shire's treasury.
Anything moving in there?
Not that you can see. There seems to be a few candles and what seems to be consumed supplies in empty boxes. But in terms of movement and life, you don't see anything.
Okay. So the door has stuff stacked against it?
You can't see the door from the window. Not the inside
No,
of the
I
door.
mean like on our side.
On our side, yeah. It looks like they stacked a whole bunch of benches and stuff and tried to burn it. I don't know. Maybe they thought burning the wood metal door would make it easier to get into. They're goblins.
Okay, well, I want to start clearing this stuff away and looking and see if I can find a lock.
Tom will help with that, the clearing away part.
Yep, Genevieve also sticks in to start clearing things. So does Rising Phoenix. So you're gonna search for a lock once it's clear?
Yeah.
Okay.
Another perception, or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, why don't I help?
Are you kidding me?
Found it.
Yes, you find that the door does indeed have a lock, but it's only it's got what seems to be a very large basic keyhole.
Okay.
Very much traditional with the solid iron key kind of lock.
Can I try disable device on it?
Of course you can.
I will be
Okay.
right back.
Okay.
Ow.
Wow. Yeah. With a bit of fiddling and the help from your brass spider, you the lock clicks open, and the extremely heavy door is able to be pulled open.
Alright. Well, Tuppy is gonna tell the rest of the party, like, you guys open the door and I'll sneak inside and make sure nothing is hiding in there.
You know, I got an idea.
Yeah.
Let me check my equipment just for a second. Make sure that I've got... Yeah! Okay. Grappling hook jammed into the door handle. Rope attached. Get a big sturdy pole and lever that damn door open.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I mean, it was heavy compared to the wooden doors. It wasn't heavy as in impossible to move, but yeah.
Even so, this is also a safety feature that nobody's near the door when it opens.
True. You open the door and the stench of, shit in there, pretty much. It's like the smell of, some supplies going bad as well, like fruits and stuff. But it seems that someone has been stuck in here and, of course, just picking a corner to do the do with. In, I should say. Searching around, you find the place in relatively good order, if not for the disarray that basically surviving in it has caused. And you also see the treasury door, which is a rather large vault door.
Okay. The 27, by the way, is a stealth roll, because Tuppy's gonna start stealthing around
Mm-hmm.
with her blade drawn, her short sword drawn, just in case.
Yeah.
Um.
As you
Alright.
search your way around, you find nothing disturbing you.
Okay. Well, then I guess go up and check that vault door and try to open it. Is it locked?
When you try to pull the door, it is in fact not locked.
Does it open?
When you pull it, you open, but then suddenly you hear a loud bang. And what seems to be pellets ricochet from hitting the inside of the door and fly out the gap that you've made, but of course you weren't like sticking your face in there as you were opening it. Hey, get back, you goblin scum!
Wow,
Tuffy's-
even even with a 2, my stealth is pretty decent.
Tuffy says, "We're not goblins. We're here to help."
The goblins have all pretty much moved on. I'm sorry to say there's not much left of the town.
Let me see your face.
Tuffy sticks her face in the door very carefully.
Oh god, a ferret!
Blam!
She is the closest one to the door, and she sees nothing wrong with her face. So,
One of your
she's like,
faces, not
"See,
your
not a
pet's.
goblin."
Wait, what? And then she
She's
speaks.
like, "See, not a goblin." She kind of steps fully into the doorway and lets him get a look at all of her.
You see a rather aged and worn halfling who's sitting there with what seems to be a blunderbuss. Around him are some still okay dried supplies, like down just the regular rations. And looking you over for a bit, he lowers his gun, which he seems to have pretty much been keeping propped up for quite some time. And he just
Do you
looks
need
down.
anything like some water or food or something?
Some water would be good. I mean, I've still got my supplies, but
She pulls out her water skin and hands it to him.
he reaches over and he takes it and just basically just starts chugging the water. And once he's done, he just kind of wipes his mouth with his sleeve, and slowly he kind of walks to step out of the vault, and leaving his blunderbuss behind, he walks outside and just looks at all the destruction. He turns and just walks back into the treasury. Well, that's that, I suppose. So you say you not found anybody else?
No, not yet.
No, and this was the least damaged structure.
Well, being the treasury, it's the most heavily fortified, and with the sort of community we had round here, this is pretty much the only door with a lock on it. We're rather neighbourly in terms of communities, and we didn't really have need for locks apart from on something like this. But I guess that kind of bit us in the ass now. Well, which direction did you come from?
Oh, we came from Eastbrook? Is that the name?
Yeah, it is. Just out of character.
Okay.
It is.
Yeah, we came from Eastbrook.
So you've not seen if this is the same on the other settlements then? The other shires?
No, we were following the goblin tracks and another set of adventurers. Do you know if they came through here before the goblin attack?
I don't know. If they did, then I don't know. I've been in this vault for a few weeks now. Just not wanting to leave, because you never know how long they may wait around, or if they started making camp here, or what am I gonna do? He just kind of puts his head in his hand.
Well, we could maybe give you some supplies and send you off to Eastbrook. They're still doing okay.
Well, okay, they were attacked just recently as well. That's why we're trying to catch up to the other adventuring party, try to get them some more people back. They were some of the more experienced warriors from Eastbrook who went to go try and find the source of the goblins.
But it would be safer than staying here.
What are they
True.
being attacked by then?
Eastbrook could use someone who is an expert at making sure that they survive. Would be able to shore up their defenses so that no one could get in.
Ah, well, I got my blunderbuss here and a bit of knowledge on gunpowder and such things, but as a day job, I was just the local treasurer.
That they could use as well.
Well, so you said that they're under attack as well from the same goblins, do you think?
Considering we followed the tracks back to here, I would imagine so.
Oh, right, you did say. Yeah.
Although the ones that attacked there were a bit more organized than usual. They seem to be being led by some kind of king, and they even had magical chain shirts.
That's not good for anyone. It's no wonder we got ransacked. Well, he kind of heads over to the back of the vault and picks up his blunderbuss and slings it on his shoulder. Starts gathering some stuff, like some pellets and gunpowder, and he goes, well, there's nothing left for me here now. If you find anything that'll be useful, just take it. I'm gonna take some of these rations from my box and make a pack ready, get some anything else that I can find. Make my way over there, and for every goblin I kill, I might be able to get a little something back.
Well, I wish you luck.
Thank you.
Is this is just monstrous looking back out among what had happened, because up till now really hadn't seen anything this bad.
Tom pulls one of his kunai, twirls it a few times, and then offers it to the hobbit, handle first. Here, this is a very useful tool. Just as good for digging gardens as for killing.
I thank you, lad. I don't really know what this is. It just looks like a kind of a blade of some kind.
It's a useful tool. They use it in my home village. You can dig with it, catch fish with it. You can even chop down a tree with it if you're patient enough. And it's also good for killing if necessary. Good wide blade makes a big hole.
Well, usually I use this for making big holes, but he kind of just jostles his blunderbuss. But thank you. I mean, yeah, I'm sure I'll have plenty of use for it. And, right. I'm just gonna keep gathering my things here and head off. And he just kind of stops being as talkative and starts just making a pack, pretty much.
Alright, so I guess we'll take a look at what else is lying around the vault. Let's make a perception check for kind of doing a quick search around. It was...
God
Decent.
right.
damn it. Okay, searching around the vault. You
Also
managed to-
decent.
Both are decent. You managed to find, like, even once he's taken his supply that he wants to, there is still quite a few barrels of gunpowder. There is, of course, gold, silver, and platinum, as well as copper coins, because it's a treasury. Other than that, there is basically just like the emergency rations kept in here, which are just the various dry things, because halflings don't like eating rations. They're very used to much bigger meals with, you know, legs of meat, cheeses, breads, all the potatoes, all that kind of stuff. You know. You like their hearty meals and big old pots of stew, but they have rations just in case. Let's see now. Also, there is what was basically the prized possessions in there as well. Things that are of too much worth to keep in your house, pretty much. And any of the ones that were still kept in-house have now been taken. And I am going to quickly roll the table and see what valuable items are in here. I mean, there's of course the blunderbuss, which is actually a very rarely seen thing, because firearms aren't exactly common. In fact, they're still regarded as quite fantastical items.
Tom's checking over the coins for ones that are exceeding their face value. And I rolled a 24 for that. Praise.
Well, you don't seem to find any that are particularly rare. But you do manage to count out the fact that there is 95 platinum, 284 gold, and just kind of throwing this together. $284. $1,187 silver and about 376 in copper. Though none of them are remarkable in terms of being collector's coins.
Alright, well, I'm not particularly concerned with money at the moment, so somebody else would end up.
Well, let's just split it between the two rogues of the party.
Heck, I'd be fine with that. I don't actually care that much. Plus, I can't really carry much of anything more right now anyway.
The way I'm thinking, this is party fund, not individual fund.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, alright.
Okay, so let's see now. Here come the percentiles.
Endless percentiles. So whatever the grand total in gold happens to be, me and yeah, and damn it, can't remember names now. Me and Kiki's character will be carrying
Tuffy.
Tuffy.
Tuffy, yeah.
Holy shit, 909? Wow. And roll one more. 67. Really? Oh. Well, it was a prized possession to someone. But you find a heavily magically propertied arrow.
Just one.
Just one.
Just one what kind of arrow?
You'll have to roll spellcraft and stuff on it.
Yeah, I have detect magic and spellcraft, so I will
Patriot
give
arrow. What the fuck?
that a shot. Take a look at my spellcraft, which is okay.
Seeking, returning, probably a few other things on it.
Woo, not another 6. What, has that gone 12, 6, 6, 12? Something like that. Anyway.
Okay, this is a greater slaying arrow for reptilian humanoids.
Huh.
So, kobolds.
And many other reptilian humanoids.
Alright, I'll hand that off to somebody. I don't really care about actually keeping it. Who wants the magic arrow?
Pretty much, it is the equivalent of a +1 arrow, unbreakable, and if it strikes a reptilian humanoid for this particular one, it must take they must succeed a out of character DC 23 42 check or take 100 points of damage.
Wow! Just line the kobolds up and fire that fucker.
I'll take it. What's the name of this thing?
A greater slaying arrow of reptilian humanoids.
Okay.
Okay. And now let's go with... you also find a cloak. That is magical. And it's a rather deep green and has golden embroidery.
Alright.
You're up, Memphis.
Spellcraft. Alright.
It is a cloak of resistance +1. It's a small cloak of resistance +1, but I think wondrous items don't need to really...
No.
Well, it's a cloak.
So
it could just be a
kinda
short
like-
cloak.
It's the magical version of Tom's cloak.
Kind of, but of course made for a small size, it is more the mantle of resistance +1.
The Pinky of resistance.
Well, I'm not much on the front lines, so this one isn't quite as much for me, since I probably won't have to make the saving throws as often.
Let's see.
Anybody have particularly bad? Because that's what resistance is, right? Resistance is the +1 to saves?
+1 to all saves, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good with mine. My cloak's fine.
I would think Genevieve, maybe? If we were focusing on frontline fighters.
Oh god, the image. Full plate armor with the little...
She could wear it as like one of those shoulder cloaks. Just on the one side.
For some reason, I have an image of her with like both arms in full plate held out in the Superman pose, running around.
With this small sized cloak flying behind.
Yes.
That barely reaches like the small of her back.
like
But halflings aren't that small,
Freakazoid
yeah.
running around.
Yeah.
Making the noises and everything.
All right, yeah, we'll hand it over to Jen for now, and then figure out if we're gonna move it again later.
Yeah, because the last thing you probably want is your paladin being possessed or something. Okay, I'm just going to put this here. And I just threw that in there because I thought the dice kind of screwed you over by giving you an arrow. But yeah, that is, in terms of just adventuring equipment that you find in there. You find some rings that are like made of precious materials, although some of them might just be engraved and sentimental value.
Or fake.
Or fake.
I mean, Enfys doesn't have that sort of cynical thought, but, you know.
No. But, you know, that's just down to you as to how much of it you want to take, how much of it you might want to, I don't know, maybe they'll recover. Who knows?
Appraise it anyways. Dink-a-dink-a-dink. Gunk. Fuck yeah!
One of the rings is indeed made of platinum and has a ruby stone in it. And it is made for a small finger, obviously. Although halflings do have kind of chubby fingers, but it is clearly made for a halfling, and it is engraved.
Yeah, what's the engraving say?
For now and forever, from breakfast until dinner, until we're old, grey, and can't cook our own food anymore. Forever yours. And there's like what seems to be a name, but it's like a signature. So it's kind of, you can't really read it.
Tom is going to put that particular ring right the fuck back.
And all of them are like, there's a couple of silver rings. There's only one gold ring, but it's quite plain. There is a ring that is iron, funny enough.
Checking the iron ring.
Okay, you check the iron ring, and it has the head of a ram as a rather chunky, almost like something you would wear just to make your punches better, kind of ram head size thing. But as far as you can tell, it is for a small creature.
Anything else about it of note?
Is Enfys still like doing the detect magic cone? I know I just kind of gave it away, but whatever.
Yeah, he would have, as soon as, you know, he started it, he would have kind of done the sweep, so to speak.
Oh yeah. Buried in underneath some of the inner jewelry there. That ring is in fact magical.